All right, awesome. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jack. I'm here from AlmaLinux. I'm an AlmaLinux community member, community manager, board member, and I'd like to talk to you today about how AlmaLinux uses OpenNebula and why we love it so much. So let's first do some introductions. Hello there. We are AlmaLinux. That's my information in case you need to contact me. So first, I'd like to start by thanking our project's members and sponsors. We rely on lots of support from throughout the open source community and industry to be able to put our project together. And so I'd like to thank all those that help contribute to those efforts. So thank you very much. I'd also like to thank our platinum sponsors, Code Notary. So Code Notary are a company which develops a full end-to-end solution for securing your DevOps pipelines. And they actually have a really cool community project called the Community Attestation Service, where you can create software bill of materials for any open source project for free. It's all stored in MUDB, which is an immutable open source database. Some really cutting edge technology. So for all you developers out there, if you are writing software, please check out the Community Attestation Service and use it to help secure your software. So what is AlmaLinux for those who do not know? So AlmaLinux is an open source and forever free enterprise grade Linux distribution. We are one-to-one with RHEL. So we are essentially a rebuild of RHEL, much like CentOS Linux used to be. We offer 10-year base lifetime support, same as Upstream. We are also an independent 501c6 nonprofit. So all of the IP, all of the work that's done on the project, all the assets, everything is communally owned by all members. And actually, membership is open and free. So anyone who participates in our community can sign up to be a member. It's totally free. And the best part is you then get to vote and state your opinion when it comes time to elections, which we hope to hold really soon. And basically lets you decide, who gets elected to the board of directors and who gets to control the direction of the project. So it's really important that if you do get involved, please make sure you sign up for a membership. I run around a lot of the day annoying people to get them to submit the membership application because people just, people are lazy sometimes. So that's okay too. And yeah, so our governance is all community set up, community run, and everything that belongs to the project actually belongs to the community, since it cannot be sold or transferred to any other entity except for another nonprofit, obviously. So where do we sit in the scope of things? So many of you are probably familiar with Fedora. So at a certain point, Fedora gets tagged, and that becomes CentOS Stream. So CentOS Stream was the new, let's call it the new OS that Red Hat announced, and that lives downstream from Fedora. So previously CentOS sat downstream from RHEL. Now it's kind of reversed. And so all the changes that happened in Fedora will kind of bubble into CentOS Stream. And then at a certain point, that gets tagged as the Red Hat Enterprise Linux release. And then from there, we are actually downstream from that. So CentOS Stream has a few benefits in that we're actually able to do testing and find bugs, find issues, submit enhancements, develop new features actually right in there. And then that will eventually make its way to RHEL, and then we're downstream from there. So the classic CentOS model. We've been around for like a year and a half now. And so we had a phenomenal year and a half. This is a graphic that we put out for our first year, just kind of like an anniversary to celebrate what we've done and what we've enabled for the community. We had 3 releases the first year. We had over 800K Docker pulls. We released 8.5, which was the third release 48 hours after RHEL did, which was amazing. And we also supported 3 architectures back then. And I say back then because we've upgraded that now to support full 4 architectures, which is full support with upstream. We're basically parity with the same thing, the same architectures that RHEL supports. We have a very diverse ecosystem of, a whole bunch of things that we support and images, stuff that we build images for. We have, millions of downloads, tons of new members, lots of sponsors. And it's just really an awesome community and an awesome place to be. It's been great to watch the growth take place. And it's really been, someone who had like a front row seat to it. It was really something amazing. So, and OpenNebula really helped fuel a lot of that in the background. And so I'll talk about that in another minute or two. So the big thing is we released, well, by the time you watch this, we will have released AlmaLinux 9, which is based off of RHEL 9. And so, we're just continuing in the tradition of producing the downstream releases. We try to get them out as quickly as possible. Obviously, a lot goes into each release, whether it's, cleaning up things from the upstream packages, rebranding, and then we do a fair bit of testing and QA as well. And that's really part of where OpenNebula comes into things. It's people may not realize how much work it is, but it's really a tremendous amount of work. So I just want to, make sure that people know that we do put a lot of work into each release. It's not as simple as just like pulling in packages and then rebuilding them and building an ISO. There's a lot of QA that goes into it. We want to make sure that we're putting out high quality releases. Again, people are using this for everything from, government institutions are using it for HPC clusters. It's being used in VFX by some of the big animation studios. People are using it for their home labs. People are using it on Raspberry Pis. People are using it in the cloud. People are using it for all types of virtualization. So it's really amazing that we're able to power kind of people's visions and people's dreams and help them get their work done. And so we do take that very seriously. And we do a lot of work for each release to make sure that it's of high quality when it comes out there. And so 9 is basically, it's available for 4 architectures, like I said. So x86 64. I wrote ART63. That's wrong. It's ART64. I don't know why I made that mistake. PBC 64, S390X. We have live media. We have cloud images for all the major clouds. Also for Cloud Nebula in ARM64 and x86 64, Oracle Cloud, AWS, Azure, containers, Raspberry Pi, Vagrant boxes, a whole bunch of them, WSL for those of you that are Windows users. So we really build a lot. And we also love OpenNebula. So real quick, because I don't have a lot of time, but I just want to go through, what our OpenNebula setup looks like. So we have a 22 node OpenNebula cluster. It's made up of x86 64 and ARM64 hardware that are backing that. We use Ceph as a backend data store. So that's storing both VMs, the disks for the VMs, images that live on there, other assets that we put on there, just stuff that we need, in the run of the mill, like everyday part of work that we do, the files that we need, and also the outputs of all the image builds and all the QA work. So a fair amount of activity takes place on the OpenNebula cluster. We're also running OpenNebula KVM node to be able to use OpenNebula with KVM. And what is the cluster used for? So the cluster is used for package and image building, right? So we rebuild tons of packages. Some of them get rebuilt here and go into QA here so that, they can be built and tested in one environment. Also, once we have everything built, so stuff is built like in lots of different places. And then depending on the architecture, and then of course we do like a fair bit of testing to make sure that the packages were built correctly. I'm not going to go into the whole mechanics of building the packages. That's for another talk, but it's part of what we do. And then everything gets tested. And then we do lots of QA on the final images as well. Well, on the packages and the final images as well. So there's a lot of work that goes in, again, to making sure that everything works and works properly. And OpenNebula really helps fuel a lot of that. And we really want to thank, I want to thank Alberto, Michael, everyone on the OpenNebula team for putting together such great stuff and being good friends to us, for all the work, that we've done with OpenNebula. It's really been tremendous. And we want to thank you guys for all the work that you've done. It really helped fuel everything that we've built. And by the time you're watching this, AlmaLinux 9 will be out, and I'm sure there will be a lot of buzz. So OpenNebula was really kind of fundamental to making that happen. I know that my time is short, so basically, I'm going to put this out there because I always do. Join our community. We have a lot going on. We'd love to have you. We can use people in every, specialty under the sun. No matter what you do, we can use your help. If you do DevOps, cloud, HPC, security, docs, virtualization, whatever it is, please docs. If you do docs, we need docs people. Check out our website, check out our wiki. We have an awesome community on our Mattermost, which is chat.almalinux.org. That's also bridged into IRC and Matrix and a bunch of other places, Discord. So whatever you use, please join us, even if it's just to ask questions or help answer people's questions. All of our stuff is on GitHub and on our Git server. So we have github.com/AlmaLinux, and we also have git.almalinux.org if you guys want to take a look at anything. We also have our Elevate project, which is a major version migration tool. So please check that out. And that lets you go from one major version to the next. So we now support 7 to 8. We're working on 8 to 9 support. So that should be done real soon. And become a member. Again, part of being in open source is having your voice heard and being able to make sure that the community is going in the proper direction. So without your voice, we cannot ever have a complete community. So please join us. And thank you very much. This is my contact information and some resources on places you can find us. Please, if you need to reach out for any reason, feel free. We'd love to answer your questions and help you get up and running and help you, fix any issues that you come across. So again, I'm Jack. Our project is AlmaLinux. Thank you so much, OpenNebula, for being awesome. And enjoy OpenNebulaCon, everyone. Thank you.